This web quest takes a look at sectionalism and economic issues that cause sectionalism. They include Western expansion, the movement west, slavery, a debate over the nature of government, but this web quest is going to focus mostly on economic issues as one of the key causes for sectional tension. Just to remind you, what is sectionalism? Sectionalism means the divide between regions. And sectionalism is nothing new if we look back to what we learned in the colonial period. In the colonial period we had New England, we had the middle colonies, we had the southern colonies. Each of these different regions had very, very different interests. The reality is that even now that we've fought a revolution, now that we've become a new country, more than 30, 40, 50 years have gone by, not that much realistically has actually changed. And so there's a lot of difference between New England, or the North, and the southern colonies. The southern colonies had always been based on an agricultural system, just like during the colonial period when you had cash crops and plantations. The vision of the South as an agricultural center, as championed by people like Thomas Jefferson and Madison and the affiliated Democratic Republicans, that vision of the nation of one which is going to be primarily agricultural kind of defines it. Well, by contrast, New England and the middle colonies during the colonial period had been based on trade, in the case of the mid-Atlantic colonies, and, well, mostly religion in New England, but also fishing and subsistence farming. That fishing, subsistence farming in New England evolves into industry. And it's going to be in places like Massachusetts, specifically, say, Lowell, Massachusetts, where you're going to end up with your very first factories, primarily textile factories. That vision of the nation, one in which industry is going to become kind of the center, is championed by the Federalists. People like the banker Alexander Hamilton or the lawyer John Adams. Well, in the post-War of 1812 period, now the Federalists are gone, but that doesn't mean that their vision for the United States is gone. And in fact, that idea of an industrial North very much lives on, and will be sort of built up with this concept of what we call the American system, which was the idea that the North was going to provide the manufacturing and the South was going to provide the raw materials. Kind of like taking the mercantilist system of the mother country, England, when it was a colonial time, England providing the manufacturing and the United States, or at that time the British colonies, providing the raw materials. Well, take that mercantilist system and transfer it to the Americas, and now North is almost like the mother country. They provide the manufacturing, and the South provides the raw materials, the cotton and so forth and so on. Well, in this system, a system where the North likes industry and the South likes agriculture, you have a shift because, well, when it comes to providing support for developing infrastructure, i.e. the American system, a lot of that support is going to come from tariffs. And people in the South do not like tariffs because they would prefer to buy the best possible product at the lowest possible price. And when you slap a tariff on a t-shirt, it adds to the cost of that t-shirt. They would rather buy higher quality t-shirts straight from England, pay no tariff, as opposed to paying a more expensive, lower quality product coming from New England. Well, this is going to lead to the showdown that we refer to as the nullification crisis, and it is the basis for the development of sectional tension as a result of the different visions of economic interests.